This is a crazy life on a weird planet with all this fantastic stuff. We're trying to figure it all out. And I kind of got crazy when I discovered all this stuff.
Bungie just released a cinematic trailer written and directed by Alberto Mielgo on April 12th, 2 days before I'm recording this video, possibly a bit sooner from when you are actually watching this post-edit. I've had time to sit on this video, watch it again and again, and analyze. As somebody that has come from Destiny, who has poured hundreds, if not thousands of hours into that franchise, I know that the cinematics all have something they are trying to tell us. It's much more than the obvious story of what's actually happening. And in this cinematic trailer with limited dialogue, there is so much symbolism that I don't see anybody else on the internet talking about. There are things in here that I think most people are overlooking. Not only are they giving us a sneak peek into the lore, but I think they're giving us the context clues to start piecing it together. Quick video disclaimer, I could be wrong about all of this because Bungie themselves have not confirmed anything that I'm going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and get into the video and start breaking it down. Humans and nature. Early on in the video, we see a ship that resembles Marathon, the original ship from the original series. Is it the same Marathon from before? Possibly. That much is unclear. But what is clear is that Tau Ceti, the planet that we are staring at, housed humans. There were humans on this planet. See a lot of agriculture, the buildings, everything that they are making. The humans have a very heavy presence at this time. And then we see a zoomed out photo of the planet. And it looks like it's full of life. It's full of nature. You see waterways, you see green landscapes. You can see that from this view from space. So what do we know from this? Well, we know that Tau Ceti used to have humans on it before this mysterious event. Now we have something not human, but almost human-like. And I believe, it is my own personal belief, and I could be wrong about any of this, that these runners and the humans are one. They're the same. They're just different shells. I believe that these are the souls of humans reprinted inside of our runners. There was this heavy emphasis on agriculture being the focus of the humans that were there on Tau Ceti. You see sprayers in their hands when they're walking in the fields, and even the truck they're driving seems like it could be a tanker for some kind of fluid. I'm just going to assume it's related to agriculture or nature. So what we have is a lot of humans interacting with nature. With agriculture comes these bugs, possibly the worms. We know that something happened when the ship exploded. Did these beings come from the ship? Did they come down? Is this what started this apocalyptic event for the humans, which appear to be extinct? We haven't seen any glimpses of humans post-runners. It appears that this event has completely wiped them out, or at least on Tau Ceti. I want you to keep this in mind and remember this symbiotic relationship with nature for later on in the video. Now stick with me as we move on and talk about some of the other symbolism. Part 2, souls reprinted and the symbolism of memories and death. What are these runners? What are they? What are they made out of? We know that it's likely some type of organic material that these runners are made out of, a shell, a husk, something that resembles humans. We see the worms printing these runners. We see it in the video. It's happening. But, and I think this is a big but, they're not exactly human-like. They look so much different than humans. And I don't think this is just a game design. I don't think this is just character creation from the dev's perspective. I think this is on purpose. This fits with the lore. If they look too much like humans, then it's going to start that internal struggle, that internal thought process of who were the humans? Am I a human? Why do I kind of look like them? Now this is where things are going to get a little trippy, and I kind of want you to grab your seat and hold on. The worms definitely print the material that becomes the shell that holds what I believe are the souls of humans, but there are only so many human souls. That's why we see these cages where the worms are printing the runners slowly light up. That's the soul transfer. They're entering the husk, the body, whatever this is. But after so many prints, the soul really starts to forget its purpose. We see time and time again throughout this trailer, bad things start to happen whenever there is the question, of what happened to the humans, or the runners themselves start to interact with things that even make them start to question what happened to the humans. Anything that could spark that idea, could spark that thought process, that curiosity, all the things that they are feeling, you can see them feeling it in this trailer. Immediately when Void gets the comm link that starts to play the music, he doesn't understand why, but it connects to him. That music is speaking to his soul. That music is something familiar, the time before he was reprinted. I think it's in part these feelings, this internal conflict of, am I human? What am I? Who am I? These questions that you can visibly see the runners are kind of asking themselves because they feel this sense of comfort with things that humans made, humans touched, humans interacted with. You can see that they take some form of comfort in this. And you see this internal struggle when Blackbird hears the music. He straight up asks, what happened to these people anyway? Directly following this, again, when Glitch gets the comm link off of Blackbird's dead body, she puts it on. Void is keyed up. He's ready to take the shot. He's just about to take it. And then she starts humming to the tune that he's been listening to this entire time. And in Void, he starts to recognize that Glitch is feeling that same familiarity, that same sense of, I've done this before. I've felt this before. I've been a part of this before. So he starts to take his finger off the trigger. At no point after that is Void even trying to kill Glitch. The entire time he's chasing her down, he does not have a gun up. He, in fact, doesn't even pull a gun out until UESC murks Glitch, which is so telling of this symbolic relationship between them starting to remember or find familiarity with things and them starting to die. Something is working against them, but memory is still a core focus, even the lack thereof. This little interview that we see Glitch going through again and again, reprint after reprint, is almost completely reminiscent of Blade Runner 2049.
Cells.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
Cells.
Interlinked.
Interlinked.
What's it like to hold the hand of someone you love? Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Do they teach you how to feel finger to finger? Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Do you long for having your heart interlinked? Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Do you dream about being interlinked?
Now I know the conversation is nowhere near as intense, but it is the same thing. They're getting a baseline. They're seeing what emotions are there, what memories are still there inside of the runner. Even if you're skeptical of this, I want you to think about the types of questions they're asking, the things that they're showing the runners. They're showing them pictures of children. They're giving them their lucky charm, things that might trigger an emotional response. They're getting a baseline. They're trying to see if the runner remembers. But we know that these conversations are almost entirely full of shit. Like, they're not real. And what I mean by they're not real is the AI is not being truthful to the runners. We see the exact same photo being shown to Void at the end of the trailer that is shown to Glitch when she's continuously going through her baseline meetings. And they are both told that this child is them. I believe this is all a tactic that the AI corporations are using for their own personal gain, because if the runners don't remember and don't question what they are, they'll continue to do the contracts and do the AI corporations bidding. I think it's also why they send them down onto Tau Ceti with like no real intel, because if you notice in the cinematic, both Void and Blackbird walk straight into a UESC facility like they don't even know who UESC is. It doesn't appear to be a threat to them. It's not high on their list of priorities to even be looking around. Hell, the recon guy didn't even pick up the fact that there were other runners or UESC in the area. Don't you find that odd? Part 3. Who's pulling the strings and bringing it back to nature? I'm going to be honest. I think it's all the AI. I think the AI is pulling all the strings. I even think the AI is the UESC. The UESC is pretty much, up until this point in the cinematic, the UESC has completely stopped the runners from figuring anything out from before. Anytime they get close to investigating something they're not supposed to, or remembering something they're not supposed to, UESC is there. Everything seems to be revolving around the AI. They're the main source of information for the runners. They're the ones handing out the missions to go down to the planet, and they seem to be completely in control of everything. I find it hard to believe that AI as advanced and sophisticated as this wouldn't be able to handle some robots on planet. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, we're going to figure out more as we get our hands on the game, and I look forward to learning more. So I'm going to leave this kind of open-ended. We're going to leave the mystery there. Who do you think is pulling the strings? Who do you think is behind this possible conspiracy? How dark and deep and twisted do you think it goes? I'm going to leave you with one last thought, one last audio clip from the video itself. I've pieced together all the parts from Ozymandias to let you listen to it and make you kind of think what this is symbolizing here in the video. I've done a lot of talking here, so I'm going to let you listen to it. And once it's over, we'll go our separate ways, but we'll see each other again.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it spoke to well those passions red which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless things, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain. Round the decay of that colossal wreck. Round the decay of that boundless wreck. Boundless, alone and level sands stretch far